Welcome to the Principal at Home channel. This is episode 3. Don't just lead them, know them. And I think this is a game-changing shift in the way we approach our people that we work with. And I'm going to be very transparent in this episode where I've really struggled and messed up in the past. I'm going to talk through some of that as we move forward. But I want to start with this thought. You can manage people without knowing them, but you cannot lead them unless you truly know what makes them tick. So if you're just thinking about your workplace, have you ever just gone through your day-to-day operations, you're knowing people are struggling in certain areas of their life, but you have not taken the time to check on them, to talk to them, to follow up with them. And it's not because you didn't care, it's because you just got caught up in the day-to-day routines of work. So just think about that. And then another thing, when you relate it to our home, is there a time where you just did not make that connection with your child, with your spouse, and you didn't realize it because you're just busy in your day-to-day routines? You just don't have time to connect. How well do you know the people you live with? For me, when I think about that, an example that comes to my mind was actually here recently, about 2 or 3 weeks ago with Caroline. We were going to surprise her. I was going to surprise her and take her on a daddy-daughter dance. And a couple of days before that, I told her that. And she started crying. I was like, what in the world? Why are you crying? I don't do well with crying like that. So, but she responded with that she was so happy and excited to go on the daddy-daughter date with me. And man, that just hit me and just made me realize she just wants that time with me so we can connect as father and daughter. And so that, again, that's important to me moving forward, that I continue to do those things with Caroline to make that time for her. So as we make this transition to 2 major points with this episode, something to think about real quick. Leadership is not about what you expect of people. Leadership is about what you understand of them. So that is going to transition us now to 2 major points I want to talk about. So my first main point today is, do you know what the people in your building carry? When I say that, I mean, when they come in your workplace, when they enter those doors, are they carrying a sense of stress, grief, burdens, hardship? And if you know that, how are you helping them get through those times? So as a leader, you've got to know your people. And this is where I think I did a really poor job in this past year. And it's not because I didn't care. I care deeply about the people I work with. However, I let the fast-paced, day-to-day work lifestyle get in my way of connecting on a deep level with the people I work with. And I didn't have a system in place to deal with those situations that, we may have had some of our teachers that were going through that stage of life with their parents, health issues, just different burdens that I was aware of, but I did not do a good job of connecting with those individuals. So as I reflected on this lesson, and as I've been reflecting this past summer on what I can do better as a leader, one thing that I've put in place, and our teachers don't even know about this yet, but we will be talking about it here soon, is our leadership team, we're going to do monthly check-ins through our entire faculty and staff. We're going to do monthly check-ins, and there's going to be certain things that we're going to have conversations with on a deeper level. And we're just going to really find a way and create a way to foster those relationships that during those tough times, man, you've got somebody that you can go to in the building and talk to, vent to at times, just to give them a level of comfort when they are going through struggles. And I feel like in the teaching world, a lot of times we forget about our teachers. And as we should be focused on our students, we can't forget about the adults in the building also. But that's one thing I'm going to be putting in place this year with our leadership team. When I say leadership team, I'm talking about admin, counselors, and our teacher leadership team. We're going to work together in going throughout the entire building, dividing up our faculty and staff, and having monthly check-ins to make sure everybody knows they are cared, know they are loved for, and know that we're here to help them during those difficult days they may have outside of school, but they bring it in with them. So that's one thing I'm putting in place. So let's transition a little bit to how does this relate to your home life? I believe our kids carry more than just backpacks. I believe our kids carry, a lot of times they worry about certain things. They have a lot of questions. about certain things. They have hopes and desires. And do you know that about the kids in your home, your children? Do you know that about your children? And that's one thing that I think my wife does a really good job of here at our home is she asks Caroline a lot of questions, good questions that are very important questions. But she has that great relationship with Caroline in that regard. And I don't. I've got to do a better job of asking those important questions and starting those conversations here at home. So, though, again, that's point number one. You've got to know what your people carry. What are they bringing into work? And the people you live with, what are they carrying? They carry fear. Are they fearful of things? Do they have hope and joy in things that you're not even aware of? And you've got to have those conversations. The second point I want to talk about is you got to know where they are headed. You got to know where people, what their goals are in life. If you don't, as a leader, how do you set them up for success as they try to move forward and grow towards those opportunities? So at work, the people you work with, do you know their goals and what they want to accomplish professionally at work with you? So one thing I did this year at our work, at our school, to tie into this topic of know where they're headed, I did this towards the end of the spring. We've had a leadership team that, when I say leadership team, I'm talking about our teacher, a teacher leadership team that has been divided up mostly by departments. So I completely changed that moving into this school year. I sent out a survey late in the spring asking who would be interested in being on the leadership team. And I put kind of some qualities that we were looking into for these individuals. And first, we wanted to see who was willing to step up and want to be considered a leader in our building. And you don't have to be on this leadership team to be considered a leader. However, it was a great opportunity to see who was interested, and I wanted to know why they were interested, and I also wanted to know what other areas of the school they were involved in. I believe leaders should be involved and should be visible and should be helping in other areas throughout the building. So again, this going into this next school year, we're going to have a leadership team, not by department, but by individuals who want to grow as leaders, and we're going to put them in situations that we think we can help them grow as leaders. So that is one thing I did at work, just to try to help that mindset of those that are wanting to grow in leadership, is to give them that opportunity to serve on a leadership team and also take advantage of some opportunities we're going to put in front of them this year to hopefully grow as leaders. And then at home, I know I'm talking a lot about kids, but I think it's very relevant right now. For your children at home, what are they wanting to pursue? What are they excited about? How can you put them in those positions to excel in those areas that they're interested in at a young age, or whatever it may be? If they're excited about something, give them that opportunity, the best that you can, to take advantage of that. And then for your spouse, what are y'all's goals as a couple this year? I know for our family, it's baby number 2 on the way come October. So that's kind of where all of our focus is right now, is getting ready for that, and being again a dad and a mom to a second child. So we're excited about that journey. But for you, your spouse, what are your goals this year as a spouse moving forward? What are you trying to accomplish together? So again, that's the second point, is know where they're headed. If you don't know their goals, the people you work with, the people you live with, you will never be able to put them in a position to grow in that area and accomplish those goals. So I want to talk just for a second about some very practical takeaways that you can apply to point number one and point number 2 that I just talked about. Point number 1 being, what are they carrying? And point number 2, know where they're headed. So I've put together this get to know you spreadsheet for the leadership team as we go out and we have those monthly check-ins. And this is just an opportunity for our leadership team for themselves to keep up with the conversations they've had, so they can build off of those conversations throughout the year. And as the year progresses, hopefully by the end of the year, they have created some very powerful relationships in our building. And that's what I think is the game changer, is just building those relationships with trust and positive encouragement throughout the year. And I think that can go such a long way. But if you don't put things in place in your building to do that, you'll never get to that level. And that's where I've struggled. I've talked about it a lot, but I've never really put anything in place like I am this year. So I'm excited to kind of see where this goes. I think for your family at home, a practical takeaway when I think about Faith and all that she does around the house, I need to step up this week and ask her what I can do to help. What can I do to help her out around the house? And I think just asking questions to your family, to your spouse, to your children, just be there knowing that, they want to hear that you are there to, you're concerned and you want to be there to help them. So ask questions and take that step in your home, most importantly. So, my closing thought today as we end episode 3 is this: leadership is not directional, leadership is relational. So, if all of this really resonated with you today, please continue to subscribe, like, and comment. I look forward to us growing together as leaders throughout this journey. And we're going to talk through a lot of different topics. But again, thank you for listening and watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you next Monday.